Hello, today we're going to learn how to make this tree. It is a wire-wrapped, beaded tree of life. Now, my base components. This wire, which will be our base circle, is copper that has been silver colored and is supposedly tarnish proof. We'll see. And this colored wire is also copper that has been enameled and colored. The base one, this one is gauge 18. I prefer 16, but we work with what we have. The color is gauge 24, and I've tried using a smaller wire, a gauge 26, and while it works well, it feels flimsy, and I'm always afraid that it's going to fall apart. These beads are just cheap glass, completely clear beads. They don't have the silver lining. They're just clear, size 11 seed beads. Alright, let's begin. First things first, you need to gather your tools. I have some snips. They're actually for silver, but I've been using them for copper because copper is pretty soft, or at least this copper is pretty soft. Nylon jaw pliers. These are very old and well used. Heavier duty snips, just in case. Round nose pliers. These are also pretty well used and a little bit on the rusty side, but they will do for our purposes. Next step is making your base circle. Find something round. Today we'll use this tea light. Cut a length of wire. Today I'm going to use silver colored copper. It's coated. And then wrap. Begin your twist. Get your nylon jaw pliers and twist. The small length will snip. And I have this wonderful little scrap bucket. So you never know when you need a little tiny length of wire. Remove. See how it's kind of curled? We'll flatten that with the nylon pliers. Next, round nose pliers. Wrap the long wire around and under, and then wrap it around the stem. Find your good snips. Snip the tail. And now you have your base. It may not be perfect. Mine are almost never perfect. But it's a good start. Now, some people like to harden their wire. The wire that I'm using is actually pretty hard, but we'll show you the process anyways. Here, I inherited a nylon tip hammer. Unfortunately, I don't have an anvil, so we'll use this granite tabletop. And all you have to do is put it down and hammer. Flip it over. I have to admit, I doubted it, but it really does work. Now, for the small wires, the tree, the roots, and the branches. I have chosen seafoam and one pink. It's 5 wires all total, and they will be all twisted together. So what you want to do is thread it through, even up the ends, pinch them together. Oops. And hold one tail very tight while you wrap the other end. Pull it straight, turn it over, straighten that end, and now wrap this end. I don't actually measure my lengths, I just kind of eyeball it. I've been pretty lucky so far, but you never know. And we'll just keep doing this. Put it over on the side, because it slides. Next, it's time to try to train and tame these bad boy curly wires. It's time to make the roots. I like to twist my pairs of ends together. I guess it's kind of a cheater way to do it. So, make it a little bit off center for the side, and just twist. Oops. There. And it's okay if you twist too much, because your branches can be a little bit curly later. Make this one not quite so off center. Make this one as centered as you can, because it's just going to go straight up. Your twists definitely don't have to be perfect. Make this one a little off center. Oops. Wrap it the other way. And make this one, again, off center. Twisties. I actually find this part to be the most difficult, but that could just be me. My problem is I try to make my trunk too tight, and it makes this a point instead of a nice curve. We'll see what happens today. So, grab your roots in your offhand. Grab the branches and twist. You can twist once, you can twist 2 or 3 times. Today, we'll just twist once because that looks halfway decent. Nah, let's twist it one more time. And it's okay if your trunk is a little off center. Gives it character. We like character. But now we have a trunk. And now it's time to decorate the branches. And we do that with beads. We can use seed beads of various sizes. Today I'm going to use a size 11/aught bead. It's very small. Or you can use stone chips. I've used those. I find that stone chips, depending on the material, have a tendency of breaking because I put too much torque on my wires. But today we're just going to use some clear beads. So unwrap a little bit and find your beads. I'm using the lid of my little pot to hold my beads. Grab a pinch, put it in your hand, and as they say, needle the thread. Don't thread the needle because it's just harder. This is actually going to be kind of hard for me because I'm really far away from my hand because of the camera, and I can't see the holes of the beads because my eyesight isn't that good. So just bear with me. We'll fast forward through most of this anyways. Put the ones you don't use back. Now, I have more on purpose to make sure that it actually reaches. Take off the ones you're probably not going to use. You want to usually have one bead extra than you think you need so that we can give the branches character later. And then start wrapping. The wrapping really is the time-consuming part. It's just wrapping and wrapping. You can get to the point, though, where you can just watch television while you're doing it. Just not even pay attention to it. Which is good, because I can just barely see what I'm doing. Snip the tail. Here's where, excuse me, the nylon jaw pliers really come in handy. Can you see how that's just kind of sticking up there? We don't want that. We don't want it to catch in our clothes or in our hair or anything like that. So we take the nylon jaw pliers, pinch and twist. And if these were new, it would probably work a lot better. And then we just move on and keep doing the branches until we're done. You want to be very careful when doing near the root. Half a tree so far. I'm not going to make you watch me do 5 more branches, don't worry. However, I do want to make a note that when we start on the other side, we don't want to really start at the top, because then these 2 branches will be right next to each other, and we want them to have some space. So this time, we'll start at the bottom. And yes, remember how I said to keep track of all those little scraps? This scrap will be used to fill in this space when all these branches are done. Alright, now for the last bit of wire wrapping. We're almost done here, folks, so it's okay. We have our piece of scrap, and we have a piece of bare wire. We don't want bare wires. Well, some people want bare wires, but I don't like bare wires. So, what we'll do, give it a pretty good tail, because you're going to have to hold on to it. And then, like with everything else, just wrap. And I will warn you, your fingers will hate you after this. It can be very, very, very sore trying to hold on to all these little coils. Oops. And you'll definitely want short nails, because these wires will chew right through long nails. Neaten up the tail a little. Be careful when you snip this that you don't snip your root. Made that a little too long. Pinch it in. Be very careful not to disturb your root too badly. Same goes with this one. Be careful you don't cut off your branch. Pinch it in. Being careful of the beads. Just one last step to go. Okay, folks, we're almost done. Just one last thing to do. Character. Now, what I like to do, round nose pliers, and just, did you see what I did there? I put it in on one root wire, and I twisted it just a little bit. Twist, twist, twist. Turn it over, twist, twist. You don't want them, don't pinch them. You want to have space. Twist. And now our roots have a little bit of character. Same goes for the branches. I'll actually have all the branches twist the same direction, as opposed to the roots. And there it is. One wire wrapped, beaded, copper, color-coded tree. Thank you. Don't forget to ask me any questions. I love questions. I don't know if I can answer them, but I'm here for you.